told a young boy at a church group one time about it, and they all laughed just like y'all are doing. Boy, he was about 14 years old when I told him. He was about 22 last time I saw him. He came by my house, and he got me off the side, and he said, Mr. Stuckey, I want to tell you something. He said, you remember the story about the owl you told him? I said, yeah. He said, you know, I thought you were lying. But he said, the other day, he said, I saw an owl, and he was as big as when you said. He said, I believe that story from now on.
I bet it was the same one that got you, Bill.
Might have been. But anyway, the story was that, I guess it was about 20 years ago, when I was working the midnight, it wasn't a midnight shift, it was a shift you get off at 3 o'clock in the morning, and this was, things weren't grown up like they are now around here. But on Red Bank Road, when you turn off 52 and you head towards Goose Creek, the bridge down there, before they made the road real big, you go take a dip down, and there was this area where I got to it this particular morning after getting off work. Right in the middle of the road, it's a real foggy day, just like you see in the movies. I mean, you can't drive 20 miles an hour. And I get there, and right in the middle of the road is this owl. And he is, I'm telling you, that owl is that tall. Anyway, I mean, he was in the middle of the road, and I'm driving my pickup truck, and I'm doing about 20, and I get it, these eyes are sitting right here at me, and I drive up, and I stop. And the owl is like, oh, I guess he's about 30 feet from me. And I stop, and I'm looking at the owl, and my headlights are right on him. And he's just sitting there, standing there. So, I don't know why, but I stopped my truck, and I got out, and I walked up, and the owl, he's still standing there, looking straight at me. And I walked up to him, I mean, really close. I mean, as close as me and Julie there. And, Julie's about like this, and the owl, he's standing there looking at me, and I'm standing there looking at the owl, and the owl's looking at me. And there's no cars on the road, there is absolutely nothing, it's just as foggy as it can be. So I walked up a little bit closer to the owl. I walked up just like this, and I'm looking down the owl, and he's looking at me, and I'm standing there.
Was he taller than you?
Anyway, I looked at him, and I started moving my hand like that, and he went, and he flew up in this tree, right beside the road.
Now, how did he fly, Bill?
So, I mean, I figured that's it. I turned around, and I started walking back, and I took about 3 or 4 steps, and like this, and there he is right here in front of me. And there he is. I mean, I'm looking at him, and he's looking at me, and I'm thinking, well, you know, that's what must be pain or something, you know? I mean, so I reached over there, you know, like this, and the owl's he's standing like that, and he didn't move. I got my hand right up to it, he's like that, and I put my hand, finally I got my hand, you know, just where I almost touched it, and leaned back. So I reached my hand a little bit closer like this, and I get about 2 inches from it, and he would lean back 2 inches. And I'd pull my hand back, and he'd straighten back up. So finally I'd push my hand over, and he'd lean back like this. Pop back up like this. Then I'd push my hand a little bit further, and he'd go like this. And as soon as I pull my hand. And you may not believe this, but this is the truth. The owl, finally, I put my hand all the way over, and I pushed him not didn't touch him, but he leaned all the way back to his head. Touched his arm. Like this, and he popped right. I mean, I don't know how in the world an owl could do that, but he could actually stand and lean all the way back and never lose the minimal speed, like feet with magnets on the pavement. I did that a couple times.
Yeah.
I did that a couple times.
My battery's getting weak, Billy. Hurry up.
And this is when I made my mistake. I thought, well, no, he must be tame. No, I mean, he's not flying, he ain't scared. So I reached over like that, and he leaned. I put my hand like that, and he leaned all the way back, and I put my hand down like that, and when I touched the breast of the owl, boy, as soon as I touched him, he touched me. The foot, it was glued to the concrete, reached up and grabbed me right there. And I don't, you may not believe, but I mean, now I believe you could crush a brick. I mean, it's unreal. His little old legs are not as big as, half as big as my little finger, but I mean, the strength is just unreal. He grabbed a hold of me, and I thought I had a hold of him, and I thought, well, it was going through my mind, you know, if I let loose of you, you'll let loose of me, but it didn't work that way. I'd let him, he grabbed me, and we sat there, and finally I got down, and I tried to pull the leg like that. I'd work with it, and I'd work with it, and it wouldn't turn loose, and I got this out, and I thought, well, now I'm in the middle of the highway out here, you know, and my headlights are shining right on me, you know, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm holding this owl, you know, trying to get him loose, and the owl, all the time, big old eyes, just sitting there looking at me. So finally, I said, well, you know, what am I going to do? I can't get him loose. And so I said, well, there's nothing to do but to take him home. So I go get him. Walking over my truck, I get in my truck, and I said, this is going to be kind of hard to do, you know, to drive with this owl hanging on my hand. So I'm trying. So I got the owl. First I'm trying to hang him out the window, and then finally I get him over and trying to. He's on this hand, and I can't, you know, I can't hang him out the window and drive. I can't. It's hard to drive like this. But anyway, I finally worked it out. Where I got it, you know, I got my hand down like this, and I'm trying to shift the gears in one hand, working one hand. And all the time, the owl was laying in the seat. He's sitting there looking at me. He wouldn't. I got home, and I got outside to the. I got in my garage. I went out, and I got my garage door open, went inside, and I got up there on the steps in the garage, and I sat down there with that owl. I started working, and I started pulling. I mean, sweat was coming off me. Pulling. No, he wasn't heavy, but the strength was just unreal. I mean, he had a hold of me, and he just would not turn loose. Now, finally, I got him down. But I got him down there, working and working. Finally, after so long, I mean, I don't know how much time went by, but quite a bit. And I don't know, some way, I finally got loose that owl. And the kids, Julie and Chris and Scott, they were all real small at the time. And I said, you know, I want these kids to see this owl. So I had some twine there, and I went and took the twine, I tied his leg there, and I went inside and go pat up. I said, she you know, what's wrong? I said, come out here, I want to show you something. So I brought her out there and see this owl. She was mad as a hornet, you know, getting her out. 3 o'clock in the morning, come and go out in the garage and look at an old owl. And but anyway, I wanted to wake the kids up then. She said, no. I said, let's wait till in the morning. So anyway, I took the owl and I took the cord and I tied it on this tree. And next morning, I got up and I got the kids all up and went out and the owl was gone. Cord. Anyway, that's the story.
It was a dream, really.
That's the truth.
What that
Now,
hour
Pat,
cost you.
oh yeah, I had to go to the doctor the next day. I had a place on my hand, so I went in to see the doctor. He's asking, he said, what's wrong? And I said, well, I
picked up this owl.
yeah, I said, I picked up this owl. He said, you picked up an owl? I said, yeah. He said, my gosh, he said, I said, I figure I need a tetanus shot. He says, no, he said, you don't, he says, you don't need a tetanus shot. I thought I needed rabies is what's going through my mind, not tetanus. He said, no, he said, rabies has to be a nurse breast-sucking mammal. And he said, you do need a tetanus shot, he said. But anyway, he got a big charge out of that. And, anyway, that's the story about it.
That's the real story.
Yeah, and Pat, how big was the owl?
Pat, let me say something for you. Let me say something for you. If that owl was that high and he had him hanging out the and he pulled him in and out of that dang window, might have been that size.
I was just going to say, it might have been a little bigger than the total of that.
Come on now, Pat. That's not true. That's how, man.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
We need to take that rock.
Now, I was told that's the real size now.
No, that thing was, the one I had wasn't even brown.
$16. You can take it, get your back. Fast as a fox. Give me a ticket.
Oh, that was a big owl. Yeah, he's non-believable. Right? Your own flesh and blood. Look here.
And then Pat Williams tell the truth about the size of it.
Yeah, and then Chico's and, you know.
Hey, you told me I was 3 o'clock in the morning. You think I'm gonna lie?